Welcome to Talking Reflections. This is a Talking Reflections where we're going to address some different things that, man, life needs, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I want to introduce Terrell Ray, right? The Choice Award.
Kansas City People's Choice Awards.
Listen.
The man, the myth,
The man, the myth,
the legend.
the legend. All the above, man. And,
What up, Kansas City
and
Terrell
I'm just
Ray?
letting you know, so it's good, and as we start today, I want to make sure that we're talking about things that are important.
Yeah.
And I think as we've grown together in a lot of different ways. We attend the same church,
Yeah.
right?
City of Truth.
City of Truth, right there. Pastor 83, that's our guy.
Pastor Lady J.
Yeah, Pastor Lady
Steve.
J.
Yeah.
She's right there, right? And it's good, but we're dealing with issues right now with life. You know what I mean? And what I see now is that we're dealing with issues that deal with mental health.
Mm-hmm.
Mental health. Like how do men heal?
Yeah.
How do we heal? So
Do we heal?
or do we just lie and act like we're okay?
Yeah.
Because when you ask most men, are you good?
I'm okay.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Right?
But inside,
But you're not good.
you're not good. Life is tearing you apart. So definitely a conversation that we have to have. Black men that we've been on our different journeys, but at the same time, we've had equal journeys. We've had the same experiences through life, and it's quite it's crazy that you can make a post on Facebook and it touches me because I lived that same life. I can make a post on Facebook and it touches you because you.
Man, I'm like right there, like
But
that right there.
on top of that, just imagine all the other men who live our same lives that we're touching.
But let's go deeper. Let's go deeper about the men that don't even address it, or may not like it, or may not, repost it or agree with it, but they're still dealing with the battles because we were taught, in a lot of life, in our lives that we should catch basketballs and footballs and we should run fast and be strong and how strong we are.
Have the prettiest women, nicest cars.
Oh my God.
I didn't get taught to love a woman, I got taught to be a player.
Ain't that something?
Yeah. I was raised by wolves.
Wolves.
Straight wolves.
But now we realize that we really value, the opportunity to have a wife or one day to have something, have a family, and how to raise your children and how to spend time. I noticed you went on a trip with your son.
Yeah, my 20-year-old son, we went to the Bahamas. We took a cruise. It was a cruise that he actually won from his employer, and I thought he was going to take his girlfriend or his mama at first because he's a mama's boy, but he said, "No, Dad, I want you to go." And it shocked me. I was like, "Dang, okay," because my daughter, she definitely would have chose me. She's a daddy's girl. So when he asked me, I said, "Sure." Love my son to death. We have a great relationship, but that gave us an opportunity to really bond and talk about things. Still, me be that parent, help with his development because even though he's still 20, we never stopped growing.
Right. But you had a chance to be able to sow into him.
Yeah.
And a lot of times as we can, if we do things the right way, we can help our children from going through what we went through.
Break those generational curses.
Man, oh my God, generational curses. Yeah. How do we break that? How do we stop that? Right? Yeah. What my dad did or what my mom did or what I felt as a child or what I was taught. Yeah. Like you said, you were taught to be a player.
Yeah.
I was taught to be a player. Mm-hmm. I was taught that, man, you're a handsome boy, you're a handsome man, and you should have multiple women, and you should have this, and you should have that. But we were bamboozled.
Yeah.
Right?
Lied to. First part of our lives was like a joke. Do you keep up with the Netflix show Love is Blind?
Man, I've been watching a little bit. I'm not a big TV watcher, but I have watched that because since you posted it, I've been on it.
So you got to watch it because there is a black father and son that addresses those generational curses and things, the upbringing and things that the son learned from the father, that the father learned from his father. And when I saw that, I start thinking about my son and wanting to teach him differently than what I've done. And that's something I'm most proud about, is that I did teach my son how to love a woman, how to respect a woman. Right. And he also saw it with how I treated his mom, how I talked to his mom.
Right.
You know, I didn't do the things like on that show. The son talked about how his dad cheated in front of him and did things in front of him. I never did that in front of my son.
Right.
You know, I wasn't the best example
right.
in a relationship, but my kids never saw it.
Right. And that's something in most men, if we have enough in us, we need to honor and respect our children.
Yeah.
Right? And we need to show them not who we are, but what we want them to be also. So they can learn from our mistakes. They can grow. They can understand it.
And not have that, you know, our teachings passed on to them. No, we'll teach them better.
You know, I look at a perspective from, I have daughters.
Mm-hmm. You have a lot of daughters.
Watch your mouth.
How many daughters you got?
Watch your mouth.
You got more daughters than me.
5, 6, 7.
I got
8.
one daughter. You got a lot of daughters.
I have girls.
Yeah,
and I got a 104-year-old grandmother.
Yeah.
I have a mother. I have aunties. I have sisters. I have daughters. I have all these things, and it has made me understand that I need to be sensitive in my own way to be able to communicate with them.
Yeah.
Right? I can't ask them to be masculine like me. Mm-hmm. And we want to deal with the word masculinity. What are we doing? What does that word mean?
Nothing. To me, it's just another term on social media that they made famous, if you ask me.
Ain't that something?
Yeah. If you ask, that's my opinion. You know, I feel
something?
like that's one of those words that every year they grab a new word and it becomes popular, it goes viral, and we start talking about the masculinity and all this narcissism and manipulative and gaslighter.
Don't say that word narcissist now, because
all of that is social media viral words.
Right. These are all new words.
Yeah.
Because when you think of the word narcissist, right, the true definition of narcissist is someone who really thinks highly of themselves. Right? So if you think of that part of it, you want your children to think highly of themselves, don't you?
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah. You want to think highly of yourself, because who's going to respect you, love you, honor you, be there for you outside of you, you know? Right? Yeah. We love God, and we respect God, and we have to be that, but we're going to leave that one alone, because we got these new words, and I'm going to stay away from narcissists.
People don't know the definitions of.
Yeah.
Misuse them all the time. You know, so I never call someone that, because, you know, I don't even want to participate in that.
Anyone that's out there, look up the definition of a narcissist.
But going back to what you were saying, you know, how do we heal the men that's not saying the truth about how we feel, and we're holding it in, we're dying inside, but on the outside, we got to show this face. How do we heal?
You're right.
We got to show this smile and like everything is okay. We got to be the strong, the providers. We can't be that weak link. You know, we always have to be that face of the family, that leader.
But often we weren't put in situations to be able to understand the leadership role. Because a lot of us, and even myself, I can speak for me, I didn't have a father.
Yeah.
I didn't have a father that was in my life. I didn't have a mother that was in my life. I didn't have a lot of the things that I needed that would set me up to be this person that society needs me to be, and what I needed to be, and I had to figure it out. And me figuring it out ended up basically I was in prison.
Yeah. At
18 years old. I was a kid that went to prison, that had to learn the hard way, like a lot of us. The blessing was I was able to recover, come home and restart, but I had a background, and I had family, and I had support. A lot of us don't have that.
Yeah. We
don't have that. So what are we coming home to? Like, who is teaching us how to be a faithful man, a good man, a loving man, a family man,
God-fearing man?
God-fearing man.
Yeah, who's teaching us that?
Who's teaching us?
And it's crazy because we have such a similar story to where I was actually locked up at a younger age. I spent 4 years of my juvenile life in jail from 12 to 16. I didn't get out till senior year, right before senior started. I spent 4 years of my life in state's custody. So I get out. Now I'm living this life teaching the kids behind me how not to make those same mistakes.
Wow.
The same way that you're using your blessing and teaching men when they're getting out, and women, that they can be somebody, that your past mistakes don't define who you are.
Right.
You know, because I work part-time at Hilltop, which is a residential facility for kids, youth juvenile facility.
And I commend you for that, because that's powerful to know that you went through this same experience, but you're sewing back into the same experience.
Yeah.
And so when, it's hard for people to tell you, oh, no, you should do this, you should do that. No, I went through this.
I have firsthand experience.
I went through this.
I tell them at the job, I'm not here for the checks. I'm here because I see a future in these kids. One day they're going to get out here. Mm-hmm. These kids, if we talk to them now, we may stop them from committing crimes. But if we just go for the paychecks, they going to feel that, oh, y'all don't love us. Y'all don't care about us. Y'all here to get paid. No, I talk to them. I let them know, hey, once you get outside these doors, there's still a lot of life left.
I've had that conversation, and I've had where men and women have come out and they say, Mr. Byrd, you don't know what I'm going through. Yeah. You don't know what I've been through when I'm in these streets, right? And the thing is that it helps me really humble myself, but also be able to communicate with them to say that, yes, I have. I was a senior and went to a senior high school party at a club and went to prison and ended up with a 20-year sentence. 20 years. Judge dropped the gable, said 20 years, right? My mother gave birth prematurely to my sister on that day because of the stress of what it went, right?
What took her through, yeah.
Right? And I was locked up 23 and a half hours of my life. I went from high school playing basketball and eating cheeseburgers, right? Right?
Yeah.
To prison. To prison. Maximum security. And it changed my life. I mean, and most people say, you don't know, and this happened, why this happened to me. To be honest, that was the thing that saved my life.
Yeah.
Because God needed to sit me down long enough for me to listen to him. Mm-hmm. I needed to listen to him.
And that's what I feel as well. I wonder if going to juvenile facilities so young saved my life. Because who knows if I would have spent those 4 years, especially growing up on 51st and Euclid, 58th and Chestnut, what I would be in life, what I would have become if I had those 4 years of teenage life in those neighborhoods, if I would even be still sitting here right now.
Because, they have the elementary school bus that leads you to the penitentiary bus that takes you to the penitentiary.
Yeah.
Right? And they're feeding us into the system.
Yeah.
Right? It's intentional.
Yeah.
But we're doing it. We're doing the damage.
Yeah.
But what I love is that now we're doing the healing. Mm-hmm. And then now things like this, we can go back in and say, how do we fix us?
Yeah.
How can we use us and what we went through to be able to help other young people, the next generation?
And not even just young, also men that's experienced the same things that we've been through in our lives, our same age, some is older, because I get messages, DMs on Facebook, social media, text messages from men older than me, my age, that say, hey, your post inspires me.
Oh, man.
You've helped me. And I'm pretty sure it's the same with you. And
absolutely.
And like you said earlier, there's a handful of men as well that may never say anything, but they feel it.
They do.
They respect me because they know I'm from that jungle like them. I'm not this person who had a 2-parent household that had a great upbringing that I just decided to be a rebel.
Right.
No, I'm straight from the
Right. You
streets,
come from
the
that.
jungle.
Yeah.
And they like, damn, yeah, he's just like me.
Yeah.
Wanted
he
money,
did
wanted
that.
chicks, yeah. Nice cars, out in the streets. Wasn't no drug dealer, nothing like that, but I was still out in the streets, wanting to be out.
I was drug dealing. I'm sorry. I was out there. I was doing bad.
I wanted to run.
I was out there real bad.
Yeah.
I was whispering right now. I was real bad. But because, at a time, my mother was a flight attendant, right? And my mother was for flight attendant or TWA, and I flew for free from the time I was a kid up until I was 25.
Tell them what TWA is now.
Man, American Airlines.
Yeah, they don't know that.
Yeah.
They don't remember TWA back in the day.
TWA back in the day. Listen, they gave me that pass, and I transported so much dope from that plane.
Yeah.
From L.A. and New York, back and forth, right? Not knowing what I was doing.
Yeah.
I didn't realize what I was doing. Yeah. I didn't realize the impact that I was doing on my community and the damage I was doing. And that's why I work so hard now to make sure I restore the brokenness of what I did. Yeah. I destroyed the community that I was loving, right? My father is one of the greatest men right now as a pastor, but one of the things that made me stop selling dope was that I realized at the time my father was on dope. You hear me?
Yeah.
My father was on dope.
And it's so crazy because I met your father and he was one of my teachers back in the day.
See what I mean?
Yeah. When we met at the Unity Ball.
At the Unity Ball.
Yeah, he was one of my teachers.
And that was one of the things that made me say, you know what? So what I'm doing, I'm bringing back to the community is reaching my family. I can't do this no more.
Yeah.
I ain't doing it. I quit. I'm not doing it no more.
What was that point that you got to where you said you wanted to heal, wanted to be different? Like what was it in your life that made you say, this is it? Did something hit you? Did you get tired of living the life? Like what hit you?
Right now, like looking at, we have Cafe Reflections that's on 70th and Truce, and looking at the cemetery. And having 5 of my friends that I grew up with that were murdered, and 4 of them murdered in front of me. And watching them being buried in that point. And right now, just emotionally, man, it's just, these are things and traumas that I still deal with.
Yeah.
I still deal with PTSD. I deal with that part of it. But just knowing that they're there, right? And I've done the close the eyes. I've done the pick up and put in the car. I've done all that. And it was terrible. Right? Yeah. Those are things that made me say that I don't want my mama to have to experience that with me. So I got to change. Yeah. I got to change. I don't want my kids to have to deal with this. Right? So it was the growth and that part of it, man, that made me really just say, enough is enough. Yeah. Enough is enough. And New Reflections was born. And that's when I said New Reflections came from creating a new reflection.
I like that. Yeah.
Right? We look in the mirror and we see us. Right? But sometimes you need a new reflection of yourself. Right? Right now, we're experiencing a new reflection of ourselves.
Definitely.
Right? You ain't looking at what you did and how you were. It's a new reflection.
Yeah. Totally new. Somebody that you had to unlearn so much, and then find out who you are now.
Oh, man.
That's, my sister, she got murdered when I was 20. She was 21 back in 2000. And at that time, I wasn't ready for growth. I wasn't ready for healing. My mind was all jacked up. It took me 20 years later to finally decide to say, this isn't the person I want to be for the rest of my life. This isn't the man that I want to be in a relationship. That was my turning point, was looking in that mirror and saying, that's an ugly soul. Outside, it's a handsome man. But inside, that's an ugly soul. The way I've treated people,
broken person,
broken.
Right.
Yeah,
broken.
The way I treat people, the way I talk to people, the way I act. Yeah, I didn't like that no more. And people always wonder, like, what do men change? Do black men change? So you have two men right here that are strong representations of change. Of that new reflection.
Change.
You know? And it's still, we still got doubters. We still got people that's going, oh, whatever. They just don't.
You're always going to have that because a lot of times when you change, it questions the people around you to have to now change because they see change in you.
Yeah.
Right?
And accept the new you.
Because it's easier to accept the old you.
Very. Had a lot of people riding with me. When I was Ray the Jerk, oh, they loved me.
Oh, Ray the Jerk was in here. I used to listen to some of your comments. I'll be like, Ray the Jerk. I'll be like, Ray! Yeah. I'm like, Ray, no! Back up. Time out. Flag on the play. Flag on the play.
And Facebook never lets you forget because they give you those memories. And I go back and read them. I just be like, oh God. I was saying this. I would sit back and I'll laugh. Every day I go and look at my memories. I'll just
listen.
This dude was crazy.
When I think of the hurt and the things that I've caused, when I think of what I've dealt with, what I've put women through, right? When I think of the hurt that was caused and things, it made me want to really change. It made me want to change because I have daughters, and I don't want nobody to treat my daughters like that.
And that's what they gonna say. Would you want your daughter to date someone like you?
I know, and at first I would say no.
Yeah.
There was a time I said, absolutely
Hell
not.
No.
Absolutely not. If you meet that old version of me, run.
Run the opposite way.
Run.
Because he's going to lie to you.
Oh, my God. He's going to
say
cheat.
you a dream.
we listen, we going to be the world, baby.
Right.
We going to be the real.
He going to charm you, though. You know?
Yeah.
He going to sex
and
you
we
right.
We going to have good. Oh, no, stop it now. Wait a minute.
I mean, I'm just speaking the real. You know? I sexed him good, Mark. You know? But I lied to them all.
You lied to them all. I know it,
you know?
man.
But now, I tell people, now I move more intentionally.
Right.
You know, I move more intentionally. Everything that I do in my life, I want it to have a purpose. I don't just want to be out here dating. I just don't want to be messing with anybody anymore. You know, I really want to be that family man. I want to be that even though my kids didn't get to see it with their mom as far as marriage,
right?
It's not too late for me to still be that family man.
You can still be that
leader.
You still have the opportunity to show them that.
Yeah.
For them to see that, you know, because that's one of the things that's important to me is that my daughters can see a different version of me, right? Exactly. Not what happened in the past, but this version of me, this version of me, and that loves, that's kind, that is forgiving, that's merciful, that's all that, all that.
God didn't take His hands off of us.
And you better stop messing with people who God got His hand on.
You hear me? You know?
Don't be messing with because when God is changing your life and people come against you, I'm just saying.
Yeah. He'll deal with it. But I remove them. I used to argue with people on Facebook. I didn't care. I'll argue with you. Now, I ain't arguing with you no more. I'd remove you so quick, delete you, and then you can go make a post about me, and I don't care. Yeah. You know, I used to find the fun and thrill into arguing with people and keeping it going and talking about people. And if they wanted to meet up, we can meet up. All that.
You want to meet up?
Yeah, you know, whatever y'all wanted to do. But nowadays, you value family, you value your kids, you value the change that you've been through. I ain't got time for that. Look, delete, you know. And that's the growth that I see within myself is that, you know, as I'm changing, as I'm growing, my circle is changing. You know, how I deal with things is changing. My attitude, my outlook on life, all of that has changed to where now we can even talk about church. I'm a big Chiefs fan, 16 years season ticket holder, to where this past year I gave up being a season ticket holder to devote my life to God.
And I've seen you at the door.
Yeah.
You're a greeter at the door. Yeah. You're opening the door. You're saying, thank you for coming to church. Good morning. Good morning. And that takes a lot for us to humble ourselves to be able to do things, and a lot of times things that we didn't think we could do. We weren't people we thought we could be, right? Exactly. But God has always had something on us. We just didn't know how to accept it.
Exactly. Did not know how to accept it. Was fighting it. Was fighting that purpose.
Ain't that something?
Yeah. They tell you that, you know, you have a lot of friends when you're the worst version of you.
Oh, man.
But then when you're the better version, that's when you start losing people.
Right. Post a good post.
Yeah.
Post a good post that's positive, that's loving, that's about God. You get ding,
Right.
ding, ding, ding. Post that other post that's about all that drama.
300 shares.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But and that's that part of it. That's where we have to learn to be able to still be okay with us, to love us, to be respectful to us and where we're going, and understand God has his hand on us.
Yeah.
And our purpose is important. And from that point, we can't lose.
Yeah. I think one of my biggest part of my healing journey was forgiving myself. I did a lot of things in my life, like you stated. You know, you do a lot of things that at that time you don't think about. You don't think about apologizing to nobody. That's just how you moving. People got to accept you. But I got to that point, you know, in my healing journey where I was just like, man, reflecting back on that old me, and it was disgusting.
Man.
You know, I can't go back.
Powerful.
Yeah, I can't go back and apologize to every single person. I can't go back and make everything right. But what I can do is in the future is do better and show them that new reflection. But I had to forgive myself for the things that I did to people. You know, the women that I've hurt, even my own children, because of my lifestyle. I wasn't ready to put my car with the Dayton's in the garage and sit still. I wanted to be outside, you know, with the rims. I did my children wrong. Even though I feel like I'm one of the greatest fathers, I know there was times that I slacked and I lacked off, and I wasn't the father I should have been, much better than what I've had as an example. But there were still times where, you know, I could have been better. Mm-hmm. So I had to apologize, you know, I had to forgive myself. And that was probably the hardest thing in my journey, is letting go of my past mistakes in order for me to receive the new me. Stop holding on to what I did and realize I cannot undo those things anymore. But what I can do is be a better example going forward.
Right now.
Yeah.
Like right now.
And I think that's what a lot of men, and maybe not even just men, women as well, but I think that's something a lot of men experience, is that hurt inside of how we once was.
You know, I feel a shift. I see a shift that's happening. And I can't speak from a woman's perspective because I'm not a woman, but a shift that's coming from a man's perspective where we're wanting to change.
Yeah.
We're wanting to change, and we're wanting to grow in a lot of perspectives and to do better.
Yeah.
Right? And what we don't have is not enough resources where we can connect together. And that's why I think like this Talking Reflections is something that's good, because it gives us a platform, a safe space to hear us.
Yeah, hear our truth, real truth. Because there's going to be people that, they're justifying, they're making excuses. No, this is really our lives, that we're giving people a front seat to say, hey, this is who these gentlemen was. But the key word was. You know, that's not who we are now. Yes. And that's what I love about myself. That's what I love about you, is that they can't say, he's still the same person. Mm-hmm. Nobody can say that. Mm-hmm. I made it a point to be a better person overall to every single person I come in contact with. Mm-hmm. You know, am I a perfect guy? Bro. No.
That's
powerful,
bro.
You say something out of line, sometimes I still have to catch myself. Like yeah.
You snap back in.
Yeah.
Then you come back in.
But I'm not that man I was then.
But the part of it is when learning to heal, learning to love, learning to be accountable.
Accountable.
Accountable, right? To say, you know what? I did that.
Exactly.
I did that. Mm-hmm. Yep. That part. Yep. Me. Right? I'm not lying. I'm not trying to hide it, disguise it. We did that.
Yeah.
Right? But then from that point on, we can now share with others to say, you can change and grow too, and still be the man you want to be.
With your past mistakes. You know, because you was able to open up several businesses, help a lot of people, and with my influence, a lot of things I've done around Kansas City, as you can see with the Kansas City People Choice
Kansas
Awards.
City Choice Award, and we're gonna talk about that. Yeah,
That takes a lot for this. You know, people have to trust in me. Mm-hmm. You know, they have to trust in me because this represents Kansas City.
it does.
You know, so that
Let's touch on that. Let's touch on that. You know, Kansas City Choice Awards. What made you start that? Like, what made you create Kansas City Choice Awards?
just watching the BET Awards back in 2019, literally sitting in my bed watching the BET Awards, and I said Kansas City can have an award show. I went to Vegas that year. My guy, he was having his bachelor party out in Vegas, flew out to Vegas that weekend, came back and got right to work on it. You know, first year was a little rocky, which was expected because it's new.
Yeah.
You know, Kansas City is slow to support, but it was still an overwhelming support. I didn't think we was going to have 1,400 people in attendance the first year.
Right.
I thought it was going to be like 600. I had to change the venue from original where it was to go to a bigger space. Yeah. So this is something to where it's not for me. I can stop the Kansas City People Choice Awards any day and I'll be happy. You know, if God tells me this is no longer my purpose, I will set it down and move on to the next phase of my life. This is for Kansas City.
Don't do that. Kansas City needs this.
Yeah.
Because being recognized in Kansas City, we're a smaller, I call us a small, big city.
Yeah.
Right? We're a small, big city, right? And when we can recognize each other, which we're not used to doing,
Right.
that's powerful.
Yeah. And no one else is doing it. That's the biggest key part that I wanted people to understand. Nobody else is recognizing us. I went and did my research on other award ceremonies or platforms, and we don't have a big representation in those other award shows. We have very little. When even the nomination process to the winners is very few of us. You know, and not if you look at the awards, our awards does not say best black. It's best whatever that title is.
Whatever that title,
Because
topic,
there's no color designation with us.
Right.
We are the best in our city.
Right.
So, and that's something when I first started, it did say best black. And then I got to thinking, I was like, you know what? Let me take away this color designation so that everybody understands.
Because we got to have diversity.
Yeah, diversity.
Yeah.
You know, because we have had white winners, you know, Caucasian winners.
Yeah.
So it isn't a black award show, even though that's the demographic that comes. Everybody is welcome, but I want them to see what we're doing right here in the inner city of Kansas City, Missouri, and Kansas City, Kansas.
Man, I love it.
You know,
I love it. I think it's one of the most powerful things that I've seen. Once I seen it, it made me really just respect you even more, right? Even when you were, you know, Terrell Ray the jerk, right? I still respected you because you were speaking your truth,
yeah,
right? It may not. Everything we got to say and what we think, we don't have to say.
right. And I did that. I said whatever came across my mind.
we don't do that every time.
Yeah.
Right. But at that time, I still respected what you were doing because you were speaking your truth and what you felt. And a lot of people don't do that.
Yeah.
Right? So, man, I just want to, just give you your flowers right now.
Thank you.
Right now, today, and to say, man, we really love you in the city. We respect what you're doing, and man, we're gonna keep supporting you.
Yeah. Hopefully I can keep it going, 15, 20 years. We're on year 6 this year, and I did not think we would last this long.
Oh, man, you got a long way.
I didn't think we would last this long.
We're going to be like Benny Shelby or somebody.
Yeah.
We're going to be like the
want to keep it going.
Or something.
Right. Want to keep it going because, like you said, I believe our city needs it,
No, we need it. We
to
need
be
it.
recognized, by our own, to see that and then on top of that, it's revenue.
Yeah.
The awards bringing revenue for a lot of businesses.
Yeah.
Now
they're being recognized.
Yeah, and they're going to the website with, if they need who's a mechanic, who's a stylist, who's a barber, they can go right to our website and it has 1,500 names on that website.
I love it.
So it is something that I love doing. It's a lot of work. We're about to actually start this year's nomination process in April. And then, of course, it'll go to the voting until the actual award show, July 20. I always forget the date, July 28th, I believe, last Sunday in July. I always forget it. Man,
that's the date.
it's so many dates I have in my head. Voting start, the next round of voting. I have so many dates, but yeah. And the feedback, the feedback has been tremendous. It's grown. Like I said, it started off rocky. People put the awards down. They dogged me, Mark. They dogged it.
I get it. Listen, when I started my school, people said, "You can't start no school.
Yeah.
How you gonna start a school? Who you think you are?" I heard everything you could think of, right? But what God has for you, God has for you.
Yeah. And a lot of people say you're the only one that could have done this award show. And when someone told me that, and I was like, I got to thinking, I was like, no, some other people that.
No.
And I say, you know what?
No, it's you.
It's me.
It's you.
Real. Yeah.
You the one. You the one. So man, let's just keep rocking, man. I'm excited, man. I know, we're at New Reflections, talking reflections.
Talking reflections.
So listen. We're going to keep pushing this. We're going to keep growing. We're going to keep moving and doing every single thing we need to do to make us thrive, grow, and just elevate, right? That's what we're doing, man. That's why we're going to have continue to have people on our team that's moving and rocking with us. Let's go. Let's go, KC. Let's go, talking reflections. Let's do what we got to do. We're going to sign off right now, let you know. Join back on. Get us chime in. Next Thursday, we doing it. Okay? Talking reflections. Talking reflections. Talking reflections.
Talking reflections.
Talking reflections. Let's go.